Out here this beautiful day, Maricopa, Arizona. Right here, right off of the main road, John Wayne Parkway. This is an overpass right here that was built about 3-4 years ago, I'd say. It's been a few years. This Amtrak has always been here, but there used to be a few things around here. Like, remember when I was a kid, there was like some kind of like little reptile, like fish store right here by this LMR Pools. I want to say it's shut down now. I don't think that's what's there right now, but yeah, a lot of these businesses right here, now that they're not off the main road, they're kind of hidden. Like these ones right here, like you can't even drive up to them from this part of town anymore. You have to kind of go around the overpass, and there's like the high school is right over there. So you have to kind of go around, go by the hospital, turn right, and then you can see the little buildings over there. Like that's where the main mechanic I go to is for my car. I don't know what else is in that little barn building over there, but there is a tattoo shop there. But yeah, I know there's something else that's going in that building. I don't know if anybody can see like the guys that are sitting in there, but something's going up there sometime soon. But either way, let's get a little move on, shall we? So, point of today's video, the topic at hand, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what got me into riding. Because I said it, if anybody's watched like any of my other videos, I said it before, I've only been riding for about a year now. I didn't like grow up riding like dirt bikes or anything, or like have like any dreams of riding motorcycles one day. It just kind of happened, in all honesty. Like the first experience I really had on motorcycles was going and visiting some family out in the like San Francisco area, and I have an uncle out there, and his whole family, like the aunt that I have is like biologically my family member, and then my uncle is married into the family basically. And his side of the family are all riders. Like they've been riding for years. I don't know too much on their background. I haven't talked to them in a while, but I'm actually going to end up talking to them sometime soon here. Hopefully be doing a little visit and getting to ask a little bit about like family history and shit. So hopefully I'll get into it more in the future, but for now, all I know is they're big Harley guys. They've been riders for years. And that was my first time on a motorcycle, was over at them. My uncle's father, he took me out on a ride on his like Road King, Road Glide, Street Glide, whatever it was, some kind of big Harley bagger. It's been so long. I think I was like 14 when that happened, so it's been quite a while. But he took me out on a little ride. I was just on the back seat, got me a helmet and everything, and I mean, I wouldn't say I really like fell in love with riding at that point, but it was my real first experience, and it was definitely a good experience. Like, it was fun. I remember we kind of just went on the highway for a little bit. It was probably like a quick like 15 to 25 minute ride. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was a fun little experience. Because before that, the only thing I really knew about motorcycles was that my grandpa on my dad's side, he rode for a little while, but I think he was a little bit more of a weekend warrior than anything, because he was real busy with work, and he had a job where he had like a work vehicle, so he couldn't really be like riding around to work like I do. But anyways, the only thing I really knew about motorcycles was just that he rode, and I know my dad had gotten on the bike with him once, and he was, I don't know if I'd really say like forced into it, but it wasn't something that he really wanted to do too much. He ended up getting kind of scared because he was pretty little, and he was like trying to lean in like the opposite direction my grandpa was, and he's like, dude, you're gonna make us crash. That's not how you're supposed to do it. Like, you gotta lean with me. And he was a kid, he was scared. So that was like the first real like experience I had with motorcycles, just hearing like that story. But you know, I knew my grandpa rode, but I was never really interested in motorcycles when I was a kid, so I didn't really ask too many questions. So yeah, then my great uncle ended up taking me on that little ride, and since then, you know, they were always like, motorcycles are always kind of like in the back of my mind, but it wasn't something that was like piquing my interest too much per se. It was just kind of something I was like, oh, you know, it's pretty cool, you know. But I definitely started seeing motorcycle videos on YouTube that started to get me a little bit more interested in it. And like one of the first people that I ended up watching was and I'm sure a lot of people have around my age, is Brian636. I think the first video I ever watched, and it wasn't even technically a motorcycle, it was the riding through O-Block on my Sur-Ron video that he did like back during like the COVID era. It was a long time ago. I actually got reminded about it the other day because he just re-uploaded it. I guess it was taken down. I don't know when it got taken down, but that was a huge video back then. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know which video I'm talking about and have seen it before, but those are the first videos I saw, and I was like, oh dude, this guy's badass. Like, that's awesome. And I definitely started watching a little bit more like motorcycle videos on YouTube after that, but I didn't really think it was ever something that I could do or would want to do. I had a car back in, I would have gotten it at the end, or I'm sorry, the beginning of 2022. No. Beginning of 2023 was when I got this car. It was a bright red Pontiac Firebird. It was in great condition, and long story short, it ended up actually not being in very great condition. Like, cosmetically it was, but I just had an issue with the fuel system, essentially. Like, my engine would just keep stalling out, and I had spent like thousands of dollars on like replacing different parts in it, and it could just never get fixed. And eventually it was such a money pit that I was just like, fuck it, get rid of it, sold it. And then now I have a Honda Civic as my like actual like car. There's always a place in my heart for that car, but it was just, you know, I didn't really have the money to keep up with it, man. Like, it had pretty low miles too. I wasn't even at like 100,000 yet, and that was part of what made me get it. But yeah, I just didn't have the money to really keep up with it, so I ended up having to sell it. But in between then, it would have been February 2024. I went and I visited one of my uncles in Vegas for Super Bowl. I always visit family during Super Bowl, and I went and visited my uncle in Vegas, and I was talking to him about how I was kind of thinking about it. You know, I've been watching YouTube videos, and it was kind of piquing my interest. I thought, you know, I was a little bit into it, and he kind of like pushed me over the edge a little bit. You know, like I was really thinking about it, but he's like, dude, fucking do it. He's like, you know, you're young, you're single, it's a perfect time. You know, he himself used to ride, and that's part of where the encouragement came from, just because he obviously knows how fun it is. And eventually one day he'll get another bike, and me and him will end up riding around. That'll be good times. But yeah, he's like, man, you should get one. So I got one. There's a little bike right there. Couldn't tell what that was. Like I said before in my video about getting my permit, I had watched a lot of videos leading up to getting my bike. The first one that I had, the Shadow, and it was something I thought about for quite a while, and I was just like, yeah, it's time. I'm doing it. Look at these little cars. That's my local mechanic shop I go to right there, Bono's Auto. So yeah, ever since then, man, I've loved riding, man. You know, I get the same feeling from riding that I used to get with video games back in the day. You know, I haven't really played video games too much lately. I've probably only played, I actually played with some boys back on, I think it was Monday night. But aside from that, I really haven't played since like Thanksgiving time or so. It was like the last time, like right before I left for Thanksgiving, was the last time I really was playing games. Like they're just like not really fun anymore. Like the same feeling I have with writing is how I used to feel about video games back in the day. It was like, it was really half of what I was thinking about. You know, I was at school, I was thinking about going home playing video games. I was in the bathroom taking a shit in between playing video games. I was thinking about playing video games. You know, it was something I was always thinking about. Whereas that's how it is with writing now. I'm always thinking about writing. You know, I'm sitting at work and I'm like, oh, once I get off work, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna write. I get up, like, you know, today I have the day off. I get up on a day off and I'm like, man, you know, I'm gonna wake up, maybe get a few things done, be a little productive, and then go out and ride. Because it's beautiful out right now, man. I think it should be about like 60 or so right now. It just feels fucking great riding around. But yeah, I hope everybody else has that thing that they get that feeling from, you know. You know, it's not like an addiction, like I'm just like, oh, I need it, like I'm thinking about it like 24/7, but you know, I really am just thinking about it all the time. You know, when I'm going to bed, thinking about getting up and riding in the morning, you know. But yeah, let me know if anybody else feels the same way. I hope you do. I mean, if you're watching videos, you know, you're probably either a writer yourself or you're thinking about getting into it. And let me tell you, if you're thinking about it, fucking do it, man. Just be safe. Know exactly what you're doing, know your limits. Because, you know, writing is dangerous. I wouldn't tell anybody that writing is safe, but you can make it safer by, you know, making smart decisions. You know, like if I was a dumbass, I'd just split through this whole thing right now. You know, if I was in California, it would actually be legal, but I'm in Arizona, so it's not legal to do that. But, you know, I mean, that's not really, I guess it's not really too dumb of a thing to do, but, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, it's a dumb thing. Look at these guys. What's up, fellas? I don't ever see a lot of people like riding around together out here. Every once in a while I'll see it, but I've never been able to like pull up to a gas station and see some dudes riding around. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's pretty much all I have to say on how I got into riding. Anybody else, you know, let me know in the comments. You know, if you got a video yourself you made about how you got into riding, man, link it. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.